What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shantines,
What's up? What's up?
Chris Abacan,
What's going on, everybody?
and Daniel Acevedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So welcome to Monday's episode. Happy post-holidays, happy new year, all that good stuff. And we are back. So if you have not been tracking, we pretty much had content throughout the entire holiday season, right? Whether it be some good repeats from the year or some brand new episodes. So definitely check all that stuff out. Monday and Tuesday are our topics. Wednesday, discussion. Thursdays, ask a CISSP, and then Fridays, everything else. We talk about movies, books, games, all that pop culture type stuff. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is from arstechnica.com, written by Ashley Belanger, and the title of this one is Siri unintentionally recorded private convos. Apple agrees to pay $95 million, and the unintentionally was in quotes, like my quote fingers did, right? So what Apple has done is they've agreed to pay $95 million to settle a lawsuit, right? Alleging that its voice assistant Siri was routinely recording private conversations that were shared with third parties and used for targeted ads. We've all experienced this, right? Anybody who has an Apple, like you'll be talking, it happened to me recently even, like I was talking to my wife about something and all of a sudden I get some type of targeted ad. I'm like, yep, I know who this is, right? Like we have to believe that this is actually happening out there, right? Like, how does it know to listen for you if it's not listening all the time, right? How does it not know its prompt if it's not always listening for it? So, like, it's kind of common sense to me. So I'm not surprised by it. What I am surprised by was that the figure was so low, though, right? So, like,
yeah,
That's chump change. That's
Exactly.
chump change.
but
Yeah.
this is what Apple has decided to settle for because what ended up happening was it was a class action lawsuit, right? All these people got together, and they were saying it was supposed to be like 1.5 billion,
Right.
is what could have happened by the Wiretap Act alone could have entitled them to that. But the lawyers would that be the defendants or plaintiffs side decided, yeah, we'll settle for this, which it's not a lot. Like they're saying, okay, we'll pay this much, and it's only for 5 instances that you may have at like $20 a pop or something like that. Is that right?
Yep.
So $100 you could be in line for your private information getting out there, going to somebody that's been targeting you for years, right? So because this is going all the way back to 2014, but yeah, I see the article. I understand the article. It doesn't surprise me about the article.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But Chris, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the first thing I thought was I definitely purchased some Apple products between 2014 and 2024. So what's that? $20 per device. So I think most of us probably apply there. So definitely check that out when that does come out. I want to definitely get my whatever $80 or whatever it is.
I feel like the process is more cumbersome than just getting the $20 though.
Always.
Yeah,
Always
no
is.
doubt.
Yeah,
I gotta go in, go read through some, agreement, and then find
Yeah.
specific hyperlink there,
Yeah.
and then, supply
And so it's not
proof.
proof, yeah. So I don't go back
Yeah.
and try to find like the purchase of an Apple back in 2014. Like, yeah, I don't do
The
that.
cool thing is they've got on your what is it, iCloud? You should be able to see all your IMEIs or whatever it might be, and date of manufacturer and all that stuff. But it doesn't. You kind of it should be fairly obvious that I bought this thing in 2019, right? Because it was only made during this time of the year, right? That being said, the $1.5 billion Wiretap Act potential fine, I think, is insane. Just goes to show you how much Apple spends on their legal team. They clearly have top lawyers on their game. Because I wanted to give you an example. Sometimes I don't even have to say the magic words, "Hey Siri," right? Sometimes I'll say something like, "Are you serious?" So in fact, I don't even know what I said, and Siri would pop off on my phone, right? And I'm sure that's happened to you guys or any Apple user that's listening right now. You'll say something with an S, right? Or at hi or something like that. Usually it's like serious, right? Or some word like that, and Siri will pop off, right? But when in terms of the actual, content being advertised to you, I think that's just it's almost like a joke at this point, right? Like it is a joke. It's a meme in the internet. We all know that our phones are listening to us. Google's doing the same thing. Like these phones are designed to gather and harness the data that either from our usage or what they listen into. And there's a reason why, like, your Instagram ads, your Facebook ads, your whatever ads, Twitter, whatever you're on, 5 minutes later you talked about an ad shows up. It's just how it is. But it's cool. It's kind of getting addressed now. But one line I did find interesting was the reason they settled, and the line was they settled because something to the effect of the developing area of law imposing inherent risks that a new decision could shift the legal landscape as to the certifiably of a class liability and damages, because the privacy law is still a developing area. Right? If this were in like Europe or whatever, it probably might be different, right? But this
know how
article makes me want to study up on some privacy and maybe pursue my SIP US. Right?
You want to know how I read that? You want to know how I read that? And I know we try to avoid this all the time, but they are fearful. They're fearful of the oncoming administration being more big business friendly, and they're worried they're going to lose out. Is what's going to happen. That's how I read that when I looked at it. They're like, if we wait too much longer, there's going to be judges out there that are going to be like, hey, I'm for big business, let it ride. That's the way I see this.
Yeah, I mean, it could be because the shifting landscape, right? Like, because they want to keep their prosecution wins high, right? So they feel like, okay, Apple's lawyers are too big, geopolitical landscape is changing, so we'll just take what we can get. In this case, the people who are in the class action probably will get paid pretty well, and then the rest of us will get $20. So it's a win.
But yeah, I mean, when I look at this article, though, I actually saw another ad pertaining to this story that was kind of interesting, and the art or the clip on it was like Apple security, and it had the lock symbol and then the Apple symbol behind it, and then underneath it it said, yeah, Apple security, Apple has agreed to sell everybody's users data, and I think the price point of what they sold the data for was like 24 cents or 49 cents per user. So it goes on to say that, if you think that Apple really cares about your security, this is what the cost per user is for your privacy and your information. So don't ever believe in Apple security again. And then it goes on to have a link to the same article and talks about, Siri disclosing information, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of crazy. We talk about something and then our phone gives us targeted ads. I swear I've thought of things, and like hours later, I hadn't even mentioned it, hadn't said it out loud, and I'm starting to get targeted ads. And I'm like, what in the COVID shot did I get that I'm thinking about stuff? And now I'm getting targeted ads. It's like kind of really spooky. So I don't know how far down the rabbit hole this goes, and I don't want to get my tinfoil hat out again. But obviously, if you have a device in your house that is smart, which means it's enabled and it's connected to the internet and it has a speaker, you need to understand that it's listening to you. So if you don't want someone to listen to you smack talking your boss, or you're doing things that shouldn't be heard, maybe have those conversations where these devices aren't listening to you, don't have them in your bedroom and those kind of things.
So let me ask you this. You ever seen the movie Bait with Jamie Foxx?
No.
It's an old movie. He was a prisoner, and they wanted to let him out and follow him. So they paid this guy when he was in prison. They hit him with a brick, and they gave him a dental surgery that put a tracker in him. So if at any time in the military you went under for a surgery, that's how they put that implant in there. That's got those targeted ads for you now. That's how they.
Pretty genius.
I've had a bunch of those already, so that makes a lot of sense now. Yep.
Every time you go through an airport and you beep for no reason, you're like, wait a minute.
It's anti-dentist propaganda. That's what it is.
Here we go.
I'm not saying it has to be dental, but that's how they did it in the movie. Like they put it in
the full circle. Now everything in my life is making sense now. This is completely makes sense.
Chris is big dental, big orthodontics over here.
Exactly. Big ortho.
So no, I think you guys are pretty spot on. So here's the devil's advocate, right? I'm always an Apple apologist, yada yada yada, right? People know I'm big Apple over here. I was not surprised that they were caught for basically, for spying and what have you. But in Daniel's instance where he talks about like, hey, I was thinking about something, I didn't really mention to anybody. So outside of them literally listening into you or recording you or what have you, these patterns of behavior are pretty spot on. So there was an article for CVS back in the day where there was a young female who start receiving coupons for diapers in the mail. Like, what is this? And comes to find out she was pregnant. But they didn't have these spy devices yet. It was more her patterns of behavior had changed. And through her patterns of behavior, right, like maybe she was eating more, she was searching for things that were, things that you'd only need if you needed more of something for the gestation period, things of that nature. That led CVS algorithm to say, oh, she's pregnant. Here, start sending diaper coupons. So,
And she was a rewards member more than likely, right?
right.
She
Mm,
was.
So yeah, so your patterns of behavior are well tracked as well. So
that's
outside of
true.
them, literally spying in on you, they can also just determine what you need or what you want based upon your behaviors. And that's I think that should be more scary. That
And
they
algorithms,
they
man.
know what you're thinking, right? Literally. So I say all to say, like, yes, this is bad. I will see how difficult it is to pursue it before I nitpick it one way or the other. It's probably be pretty hard. Everything that I've gotten like this, like Wells Fargo and things like that, they make it extremely hard to opt in, and then you get a raggedy check, as I would like to say. But
Or you get those
money is
stupid
money,
gift cards, right? That
yeah,
are
or
like,
something, yeah.
yeah.
Money is money, right? But I hope that Apple is very forward leaning and they make it very simple. Like maybe I just put in my serial numbers and then that's able to help me. But Shannon is writing his shaking his head. They're gonna make it as difficult as possible. Like we want the original receipt from when you bought this, whatever
Probably.
it is. So we'll see. We'll see how difficult this is. I'll pursue it at some point. But yeah, if it's too tough, keep your $20.
They're gonna
Uh,
they're gonna want the original receipt. They're gonna want it like the way we used to take leave back in the day. We had to do it in triplicate with the carbon
right.
copies. Like I need a pink copy, a yellow copy, a white copy. Like that's how it's gonna be.
Right, right. I need the person who sold it to you, right? I need the
Mm.
cashier to sign. It's going to be ridiculous. Definitely continue to check us out throughout the week. Again, Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday discussion. Thursdays Ask a CISSP. I have two in the pipe I'm currently editing, so there's more to come this year. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. Hit up all the websites that go by our name, The Other Side of the Firewall, The Other Side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. Hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me everywhere, but LinkedIn is where I will most likely respond to you. And where can they find you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Chris Abacon. Last name is spelled A Bacon.
And you, Daniel?
On LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.